and welcome to another episode of Tracy Takes On, the show that talks about all things politics. And if you notice, again, I am by myself. This is the last week of me being by myself. The panel will be back next week. So we've got a whole lot to cover, and I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible. We've got Trump speaking, Biden losing it. Um, Unfortunately, some tragedy in Surfside, Florida, which we'll get to first. The Supreme Court upholding Arizona's restrictive voter laws. We've got a lot. So let's start off um, with the tragedy in Florida. Um, in a city called Surfside, Florida. I'll get that right, Surfside, Florida. A condo collapsed. Half of it was left remaining, and the other half just collapsed. I'm still not sure if they've released the reasons as to why that happened. Um, at first, it was a total of 145 that were missing, and only 9 did. That's increased to now 27. Um, it's just a really tragic situation that's going on there, and I'm hopeful that they'll find um, more people, obviously, but it's just not a good thing that happened, especially when there were reports coming out that there were already concerns about the structure of that building. And with Florida law, you only have to register, I believe, every 40 years, when it really needs to be every, 5 to 10, properties they settle. Um, Florida is a sinking state. If you don't know what that means because of water pressure, your land is actually sinking. So it's not as stable as, our um, landline states. So all of those concerns were ignored, and now we have 27 lives that have now been lost. When really, if they had took the preventative steps, we could have prevented this whole thing from happening. But um, like I said, no, there's no words that I could ever say to the family of the people that were lost. Definitely condolences, definitely prayers and thoughts. But Florida needs to get its act together and start making um, these condos, whatever size they may be, more accountable to what's going on. Because this just seems like to me it could have been avoided if they had only taken the preventive step. But now they're going to take the right step, but only because again, 27 people lost their lives. So that was about that. So like I said, just a tragic situation. Um, on to our next subject. Um, Trump had made his appearance in the same state of Florida, and actually these two stories kind of connect because let's see, DeSantis, the governor of Florida, and Trump bootlicker, he even told Trump it's not a good idea that you come and do your rallies here right now. We're in the middle of this emergency. There was a hurricane that downgraded to a tropical storm that's heading towards Florida. Put it off or go somewhere else with it. And of course, Trump, he's not listening. It's all about his ego. It's all about propping himself up. So of course he didn't listen. And I'm gonna put this. I'm going to, and I usually don't do this. And I'm gonna play some of Trump's clips. So I'm gonna look for it, actually on my phone because I don't want to play the video because again, Facebook will hit me. Well, they'll hit me anyway. So let's see. Um, I forget what city um, he was in, but it was definitely Florida, and they definitely tried to talk him out of it. So let's see if I can get it up here. Usually I don't just do this. So we're gonna listen to. No, 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 no. Okay. Let's see. What was? Trump speech in Florida. And I can't. Trump speech in Florida despite condos falling down. I'm sorry, I can't get this. So I'm trying to get this. So, oh, I can't even find this speech. Oh my goodness. I know it's here. Well, we're just gonna skip it because apparently I can't find it. But it was basically a rehashing of the election was stolen from me. You can't trust them. Blah blah blah. I don't know. Part of me wants to think he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows he's lost, and he's just milking these people who support him for money. But then there's a part of me that believes he actually believes that people actually want him to be president, that he actually did lose, that someone in Italy is interfering in our elections, that someone who passed on many years ago has resurrected and now is interfering in elections. But I don't know which one it is. I don't know what the mental capacity that he has because it doesn't seem like he has any. Um, if he is milking this for money, he should just open up an acting school because his face, his body emotions, when he says it, you can tell part of him believes it. Like part of him believes that he lost the election and was a robbery. American people just love him. No, we didn't. But he exhibits that kind of behavior. And instead of just saying, I lost, my message didn't get out there, you're touring America. And now there's even reports that his own base is getting tired of him, which that to me is very interesting. Um, One thing they want to think about these Republicans that want to just support him no matter what. If he keeps saying that the elections, you can't trust them, they're not fair, that could mean that Republicans would start staying home. And I don't think that's what you want. He can't explain why he lost and then Republicans under him in lower seats won. That doesn't make sense. And just face it, you lost. Stop going on these tours around the country. But I guess, when you're low on funds and now your organization is facing charges, which I am going to get to, I guess this is all he has to do. And he doesn't even know how the New York investigation is going to come. It's not against him personally, but it's against his organization. Is he going to be called to testify? If he is not called to testify, is he going to go around the country and start talking about they're just doing this trial to to you know throw mud at me? I can't think of the word I want, but I I I just don't understand his logic, and I'm still looking to find this because I said I was going to skip it, but it's so telling about who he really is as a person that he can't get in his head that like nobody wants you. If we wanted you, we wouldn't have elected the other guy. And trust me, not a fan of the other guy either, but just admit you lost. I'm going to find this because it's gonna just annoy me that I can't. So I'm gonna just say Trump speech in Florida 2021. Not 31, that's not here yet. I'll play it for you all just a bit. Okay, let's see. Oh, it was Sarasota that he held the floor rally in. I'm not playing the whole thing. Okay, let's see. That's and apparently the speech was 90 minutes. Who wants to hear his not putting sentences together, doesn't know how to form a sentence self talk for 90 minutes? Nobody want to hear that. Like, sit down. Um, no, that's well intense. See, I'm trying to figure out the one. Mhm. Oh yeah, here it is. So we're gonna just play this because
President Biden is visiting Michigan on Saturday as part of his America Back Together holiday tour. His administration says the theme celebrates the progress the U.S. is making in the fight against the coronavirus, showcasing parts of the nation returning to normal as more Americans get vaccinated. The administration will miss the president's 70% of adults vaccinated goal by July 4th, but
blah
it
blah
is
blah.
still racing to reach as many people as possible as the more contagious Delta variant spreads. Meanwhile, former President Trump is hosting a Saturday evening Save America rally in Sarasota, Florida. Thousands of supporters are expected to be there. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis will not be in attendance. The governor's office says he and the former president agree his duty is to be focused on the Surfside building collapse. The rally comes days after a New York City grand jury indicted the Trump organization
Here it is right
and
there.
CFO Alan Weisselberg on tax fraud
Talk about that
charges.
next.
While the former president wasn't charged, the Trump organization attorneys say that they believe that the former president is the ultimate target of prosecutors. Joining us with more.
No, duh. Of course he's a target. Company's got his name on it, so of course you just heard that. So yeah, he was traveling to Sarasota, Florida, while his organization was being Weisselberg was being charged with not reporting tax payments. Apparently, there were payments for private schooling. There were payments to his children that were not reported to the IRS. Now, I know a lot of Trump supporters are like, well, why didn't the IRS investigate? Oh, the IRS moves so slow. It could take them years, I mean, literally years before they're even able to look into that. I mean, I don't think he should be, uh, saying, "Oh, I dodged that one," because I do think there's going to be more. There are going to be more charges coming, and we need to be in the lookout for that. And August is also coming up, and I would not be surprised. And I hope I'm wrong. I would not be surprised if January the 6th, part two, is reviewed in August. So, for you that don't know, August is the month that Trump is supposed to be reinstated as president. I think it's like late August that some of his supporters are saying, and even he's been saying that he's going to be reinstated. So, if he tells them, the couple of days before, hey, if I'm not reinstated, makes noise, this may end up being worse than January the 6th. I worry about not only his sanity, but his followers. Why is it that they can't get in their mind that their person lost? I mean, my person lost. You don't see me going to the Capitol and smashing things and killing people and putting people's lives in danger. You don't see that because I have sense. These people don't. And, if you're on the other side, you don't want you are angry at what I said, turn it off because your support of this man is literally unreasonable. I can't name anything that he ever did while he lived at 1600 Pennsylvania. I don't know. I just know that, in terms of this trial, no, this isn't going to be the end. He's already said that he doesn't think it's a good idea to pay taxes. So why would I even think that he hadn't evaded taxes? Um, just a whole mess, a mess, a mess, a mess, a mess. I wish the media would just stop reporting this. I wish I didn't have to tell you all about this, but unfortunately, it keeps making the news. And people around me keep talking about it because it keeps making the news. I wish, I didn't even have to bring this. Usually when a person's a former president, they just go away. They, become public speakers, they get paid, or they do, you know, They don't go back to their regular jobs. Obviously, they can't, but they go back to society, and you don't hear from them. You didn't hear from Bush when Obama was president. You didn't hear from Obama when Trump lived at the White House. Why do we have to hear about Trump when Biden is in the White House? Why the ego is just, it amazes me that somebody could have that much ego where everything is about you. Every campaign stop is about you and how they make you look well, and not the other way around. Um, it's sickening if you really think about the things that he says and how he says them and what he means when he says things. But again, he had 70, almost 77 million people vote for him. I still would like to know why, because I can't think of anything he's done. But um, if he's not the goal of this investigation in New York, why do it? And that's why I think he is, because why would they waste all of that money um, to try to do something? They would just, if it were, I don't know, because I think they would investigate if it were like a common person. But because Trump, again, makes everything about him and what he feels and what he's going through, what he sees, he could very well be their target. I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't. I mean, everything in that company runs through him. If there's a payment, someone knows about it. He knows about it. So that is my thoughts on that. I'm trying to think of what else I said I was going to talk about. I don't want to stop and start this. I know what I did not talk about, and in terms of the introduction. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did talk about Biden snapping on some reporter. That I am going to look, because I want to read this whole article. And this one, I can't play it because it's an article. Let's see. I don't know what they were asking him about. Let's see. Oh, these are all recent. Let's see. Mhm. Okay, so I'll just read you what it says. It says Joe Biden snapped at reporters on Friday for questioning him about the drawdown of U.S. troops in Afghanistan, telling them he only wanted to talk about happy things ahead of 4th of July or July 4th. The president had been delivering remarks from the White House to celebrate a new report showing the country added 850,000 new jobs in June, and he opened up the room for questioning. He quickly grew impatient while fielding several questions about the withdrawal of the troops in Afghanistan as the nation teeters towards the brink of a civil war. Calling it a plan to bring America troops home rational, Biden told the gathered journalists, I want to talk about happy things. Well, if you don't sit down somewhere, that's a reporter's job, is to press you. It's not just happy things. What do you mean about happy to things? Don't bring up his record. That's not happy. Shouldn't you expect that as president? Should you know that's going to come as president? It gets worse. It gets worse. Yeah, and then he said, look, it's the 4th of July, he continued. I'm concerned that you guys are asking me questions that I'll answer next week. See, people gonna make me snap. People are going to make me snap. I don't understand that. So you only want positive questions until you say you can take the not so positive ones. When will you take them? What is the time frame? Of course, a reporter needs to ask tough questions. That's what reporters should be doing. You get a whole bunch of yahoos that just sit there and kiss your behind and ask you these little softball questions that don't have anything to do with anything. And you're going to go off on reporters for asking what would be a decent question about the drawdown. There are a lot of questions about it. And so for you to snap, and everybody has a bad day. So I don't want to hear that in the comments. But he has a history of it. History. Fighting people that showed up to his rallies. Telling people that if you don't like him, vote for Trump. Who says that? Just who says that? Who in the world says that? Not anybody I know. And he's constantly getting these excuses. Um, he did this before with two female reporters, or no, it was one asked Putin and one asked him. The one that asked him, he snapped at her, and then the media. Oh, he apologized. That was not an apology. That was a oops. I got caught on being who I am, so I better go out here and just say I'm sorry. You can tell when an apology isn't sincere. Um, and so it's like just take an anger management class. Because if you can't be even tempered, you probably don't need to be president. Um, and like I said, I know I'm going through quickly through these because I've made up my mind. I'm not going to keep babbling and babbling and babbling. We said we were going to talk about Clinton, which we did. Oh, that's what I did not talk about. Bill Cosby is out of jail. And I'm not going to say much on this show, but if you watch the Progressive Queens, which is on our channel, I had a lot to say. Um, I don't know why people are interpreting this as he was exonerated. He was not. He was simply let go because the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania said he couldn't be tried based off an agreement that he previously made. So this does not mean he's innocent. I shudder to think that he doesn't have to register. Well, no, that was not children, so I guess he wouldn't have to register as a sex offender. But it's hurtful to women who have been in that situation of being assaulted, and we ask them why don't they want to come over? Oh, sorry. Why did they wait so long to bring forth these charges, and why didn't they bring charges up sooner? Because of how society treats female victims, especially of sexual assault. These women were called liars, basically prostitutes, because they allegedly accepted money for uh, favors to Cosby or to entrap him somehow. It's like if we could just be rational about this, we would know that he admitted that he's done these things. And there's no accountability. Sure, he spent 2 years in jail, but what's 2 years? It's saddened me that someone who, and I never liked the Cosby Show, but somebody who the family could look to and say, "Oh, that's what I want my family to be like." But again, these are only actors, so you can't be angry with them when they're acting like people because people who they are. It just amazes me that you have people that just just really they traumatize the victims all over again. Saying they took money, saying that they allowed themselves to be drugged, and it's shameful that we do that. I definitely believe that we should listen to both stories. We need to listen to victims of sexual assault more instead of asking what was she wearing. Uh, did she seem open to the idea of flirtation? Wasn't she asking for it when that skirt had that slit? Nobody asked to be sexually assaulted. Sexual assault happens when some idiot decides that he or she is going to take sex by force. That's sexual assault. And since I'm leaning towards the more that he's guilty, he should have been in prison, should not have been free. He should be still sitting in prison right now. Because I don't buy into these conspiracy theories that people are coming up with. I don't buy the fact that um, 60 women in all are just lying. That's a very high number of people to lie. I mean, that about the same thing and describe the same tendencies that he tended to do. That's going to be hard for me to believe. Now, of course, for all of you that are saying he's innocent, you can say, uh, no, he wasn't home, or that was a relative, or she's just making it up to get money. I think he only paid one person. So if he paid one person, but there's 59 left, he's not paying 59 people to take a dive for him. No. He wanted to make sure that the one he picked could work for him. And that's what he got. Um, there was an interview with Larry King they did several years back, had to be in the 90s, where he was talking about some kind of cocktail that he makes up to get women drugged. And I'm like, dude, you can't admit that out. Don't get some help. Do something besides Spanish fly. That he would pour some Spanish fly in a woman's drink and she'd be out, he could sleep with her. No. Um, just no. Just no. Just no. Trying to think of what else I wanted to talk about. I did say I wanted to talk about the courts striking down the Arizona voting law, but I knew that was going to come because the Supreme Court, they're a bunch of bullshit idiots that were placed in office by uh, a person who could not have cared anything about the American people, just cared by themselves. So I expected it to come. Will I think it will work? I want to believe it won't. But I hear so many people say, I won't vote because all politicians are crooks. And you're proving the opposite. So, it, yeah, I just didn't want to get that because I feel like that law, the justice that wrote on it said, um, oh, this doesn't say black people can't vote, but it makes it harder for black people to vote. And for you to lean on their side instead of the eyes of the law, that's disparaging. But of course, the Democrats could have prevented this by packing the courts. All you had to do was pack the courts with your justices, and we wouldn't have the decision. But since you want these kind of restrictive voting laws to pass, and don't give me the For the People Act, don't, because it's garbage. But if they wanted this to pass, they would have packed the courts. That's what you do when you have the numbers. You use the numbers that you have to shove through what you want. And this party, being a Democrat party, does not know how to do it. I'm trying to think of what else I want to talk about. Talk about that. I think I'm done. No, I'm not done. I'm not done. Um, Talked about the answer. Talked about Trump, the Cosby, um, some short Florida. Yeah, these past 2 weeks have been so busy that it's hard to say what'll happen next week. We have a special election coming up in July. We have a special election coming up in August. I think that's the 3rd. Then, of course, there's the I want to call it the money how to find it. There's a teach up somewhere, and I'll find it hopefully and give you all the plans for it. And I'm trying to think what else I'm going to talk about. So don't get mad at me. I'm just sitting here and thinking of everything I said I wanted to talk about. Probably need to write this down. So So, with me not remembering at the beginning what I was going to talk about, I want to end this. But first, I want to apologize. Last Monday, I did not do the idiot of the week. So, I'm going to do it now, and then we're going to call it a day. So, my idiot of the week is a non politician. It is Wendy Williams. Girl, stop it. Unless you've just been living under a rock, there is a social media influencer. Her name is Tabitha Brown, and she um, has been working on a career in entertainment for the past 15 years. And so she and her husband made an agreement that if she got successful, he could quit his job as a police officer to pursue his real passion of coaching children. And of course Tabitha took to the internet to express her gratitude for the people who follow her and support her, etc. Wendy was not having it. She threw several shades of jealousy. Her marriage didn't work out, so she just assumed that Miss Brown's marriage wasn't working. She said she couldn't do it, but we know she did. We know her ex-husband. We know her story. So Wendy Williams gets my idiot of the week. Next week, we're going to return with the panel. I thank you all for joining. I'm so sorry I forgot what I was going to talk about. If I think about it, I'll jump in and do a live in to make up. But I will see you all later and have a great day. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment and support us on Patreon. Have a great day.